It's Monday night. It's 8 o'clock. You know what time it is. It's time to start your week off right here on Nerd Initiative with Play4Keeps, the show.
Woo-hoo.
Mickey, play the intro.
You got
Okay, I had no idea that Mickey was going to do that. And now I'm going to have that song stuck in my head. And yes, it is in my Spotify playlist. I kid you not. There's 2 Sonic songs in my playlist. That is one of them.
Escape from the City is the other one?
No, it's not
Oh,
Escape from City. It's actually
okay.
the opening theme song to Sonic Heroes.
That's a good one too. Yeah.
That's an excellent one. It's one of my favorite games ever. But welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to beautiful Play4Keeps, the show. My name's Off the Cuff Tom, and with me, as always, the incomparable, the incorrigible, the guy who really has to go fast, but make sure you always have your cell phone, wallet, keys with you first, Mr. Mickey Smith.
How's everyone doing tonight? I hope you're excited to talk about what that intro was all about, because I know I am.
Well, I know for dinner I didn't have any chili dogs just because, I'm worried about noxious emissions while I'm trying to do the show.
Yeah.
But hopefully you are all had your fill. You've got all your rings, your Chaos Emeralds, and all your other things, because we are talking about Sonic with the new movie coming out later this week, correct?
Correct. Yes. Thursday.
Yes,
Premiere
Thursday.
Friday. Yeah.
With the movie coming out this week, we decided to talk about Sonic. Now, we're going to briefly go over some of the video game stuff because that's my specialty. But then we're going to flip it over, and Mickey's actually going to be talking about a lot of the toys because that's his specialty. Before we get to that, we didn't really find any big toy news this week in our particular wheelhouses. I will go on to talk about the fact that Hasbro did talk about the new Age of the Primes series that were coming out last week. And since then, we did get a live stream showing off all these great new figures. They go all the way from Voyager, Leader, and Titan class, all the way up. Megatronus is a gorgeous figure. I know at some point we're going to do the history of Transformers. That is a very, very broad history. We might break that one up into different series as well.
The lore is deep.
Oh yeah, we're going to try and reach out to a few of our internet friends and see if we can bring them in as well. So aside from that, what did we pick up this week? You got anything, Mickey? I know you just had that fantastic box of loot that you posted about here on the official Nerd Initiative YouTube channel, so you can check that out.
Yes, and I'm going to show a couple of things off from that. If you want to see the rest of it, which was some really cool stuff, check it out. We'll start with the first thing is the Marvel Legends Phoenix, like deluxe figure that comes with the Phoenix Fire Bird, which is really cool. I didn't have a regular Phoenix. I have a Dark Phoenix, so I was like, I got to pick that up. Really cool one though. It's Ghostbusters 40th anniversary plasma pack.
I'm telling you, I actually paused your video today because I like watching my Nerd Initiative YouTube on my big screen at home, and I paused it and just to see the wear that they printed into the box, makes you
like an old VHS.
That your 6th birthday that mom refuses to get rid of the VHS from 1987.
Comes with all 4 figures. They're like classic G.I. Joe O-ring figures. They look bad. They look really good for such small figures. Some cool little accessories, ghost trap and Ray's goggles and stuff like that. But yeah, they were pretty tight. Very happy with that.
Nice. And also in that video, Mickey had it slide right by. I did pick up a reason for the season. I have this fantastic Jack Skellington figure from Super 7. Don't ask how precariously I was able to get this posed. All right. But we are going to be doing up the editing and going to have the toy review live here on Nerd Initiative's YouTube channel and across the other social medias just before the Christmas. And then, interestingly enough, I picked up, luckily because of our friends over Big Bad Toy Store, they sent me another figure. It's going to be and I always say it wrong because I got it right here, so that way I say it right. So I have the Gundam Death Scythe Hell. Although I've also heard it called the Hell Scythe. This is specifically from Gundam Wing, the Endless Waltz movie, which is also considered in the anime world as a Christmas film as well. So it's a twofer.
Well, look at there, yeah.
How about that? I kind of knew what I was doing.
Yeah, you did.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to talking about Sonic. I want everybody to start off talking down in the chat. What is your favorite Sonic game? Who is your favorite Sonic character? There are so many things Sonic that we've had in over just over 30 years now, 33 years if I believe.
Yeah,
It's a lot. So this is literally just a brief overview, and we're starting off with my side with the video games.
sure. Let's do it.
All right. Well, it kind of makes sense the fact that if it wasn't for the video games, we wouldn't be talking about Sonic.
Exactly. Yeah.
All
uh,
right. Look, it did the thing right this time.
right. Good job.
Yeah. Yay. Thank you, Internet Gods. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So, Sonic the Hedgehog debuted in 1991 on the Sega Genesis system. This was a very popular and famous one because it was a 16-bit system. On top of it, it used what was called Mode 7 graphics. That's how you were able to get the backgrounds going one way and the foreground going another, thus leading to the actual speed that Sonic could get. What's also great about this is that Sega wanted to use Sonic as their mascot. Just as Nintendo had Mario, Sega had Sonic.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that still to this day, anybody of the, let's say, 35 plus crowd definitely still gets goosebumps when they hear Sega.
Yeah, definitely.
You know?
It's funny because I was thinking about it earlier. I was like, when it came out, I didn't care. I was a Nintendo kid. It was
So was I.
everything was Mario related. I had friends who had the Sega, and they would be like, "Come over," and I'd play Sonic, and I'd be like, "This is cool and all, but it's no Mario." But something about it though, the more you play it, there's something about it that just I don't know if it gets in your brain or something where
Honestly,
gotta go fast, gotta go fast.
I think it's the dopamine levels of just how
Yeah,
fast the game was, compared to at that time. Because still in 1991, we were still rocking what Super Nintendo. We weren't even at
yeah,
64 just
yeah.
yet. And don't get me wrong, 64 or the Super Nintendo did have Mode 7 graphics, such as Super Metroid,
Mhm.
Aladdin. Believe it or not, one of the hardest Capcom Disney games out there, still had Mode 7 graphics. Battletoads, they even tried pushing it even in the old NES in the Turbo Tunnel. This the technology that was in the Genesis really made this particular type of graphic work shine.
Mhm.
Um, Sonic the Hedgehog was then followed up, obviously, with Sonic 2, introducing, of course, our faithful companion, Miles Tails Prowler. A lot of people don't realize that he is one of the few characters in Sonic that has a full name.
Yeah.
You
It's
know,
true, yeah.
Amy Rose might be another one.
Yeah.
Uh, Big is just Big the
Big.
cat.
Yeah, make the
You know, Knuckles
uh,
is just the echidna,
the echidna, yeah.
right?
That's it.
Silver is just Silver. It's not even Silver the Hedgehog. It's just
I guess
Silver.
I guess Eggman, Dr. Robotnik. Well,
Yep,
they say his
Dr.
first name
Ivo Robotnik.
Ivo, thank you. Robotnik, yeah.
Yep, of which we will see Jim Carrey portraying two roles. One of them is more important to Shadow's backstory.
Mhm.
The other one being the younger version, who is the one typically against Sonic. And that was also another great thing that we learned while doing a lot of this, that there was that generational shift, and that's how we got the game Sonic Generations later. Um, a whole bunch of stuff, let me tell you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Sonic 2 was great because it did have this two-player. Now you see on here it says two-player versus. This is where the game was actually to go to split screen this way, and you would both be trying to get to the same exact goal. If
Mhm.
you played the game one player, you can still technically play as two-player.
I did not.
So, as you said, I too was a Nintendo kid, but when I went over to my buddy Claudio's house, we would play. I was like, I didn't know if I was there more to play Sonic or to hang out with my dude.
Yeah.
But if you did have Sonic 2 and you had a second controller while you were in one player mode, you can control Tails,
Oh,
but it's only very mild things. Like you couldn't be the permanent helicopter. There were ways around it. Game Genies, Game Sharks, whatever was your fancy.
yeah.
Now, because Sonic broke the mold, then we go into Sonic 3. And I decided to put these both together. So Sonic 3 came out in February of 1994, with Sonic and Knuckles coming out October of the same year.
Hmm.
Now, the Sonic 3 game, of which, by the way, was confirmed that the score was done by the one and only King of Pop, Michael Jackson.
Yep, yep.
The game itself was so big that, and this is the rumors, that they split it into two separate games, Sonic and Knuckles and then Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, if you look in the cover art there on Sonic the Hedgehog, you will see those mysterious eyes. Those are supposed to be Knuckles because he was more of the anti-hero of the game. But then because we wanted to get the full game, Sonic and Knuckles came out, and that was so famous because it had lock-on technology. So, I mean, I did my homework here.
Yeah, we're digging deep.
You can definitely see that this connected together. So Sonic and Knuckles was its own independent game. All right. Hello, true gamers. How are we doing this evening? And once you flipped it up, you could connect Sonic 3 into the top of it, which would change the title screen to Sonic 3 and Knuckles when you got the full extent of what the whole story for Sonic 3 was supposed to be. Now, this particular Sonic and Knuckles cartridge would work with only two other games. I don't care what everybody says that you could get, Knuckles in NBA Jam or, Knuckles in Wonder Boy and Alex Kidd and all that. No. Okay. If you connected Sonic and Knuckles to Sonic and Knuckles 2, or say, if you connect Sonic and Knuckles to Sonic the Hedgehog 2, you would get Knuckles the Echidna. This would actually overwrite the original code just for the sprites and for the title screen. You can also take a look there. It has two separate copyrights on it. One because it is Knuckles, who was copyrighted in 1994 when the game came out, and the second one in 1992, which was when Sonic 2 originally came out. So it was a very neat thing to see. Now, does Sonic and Knuckles work on Sonic 1?
Does it?
I don't know. I'm asking you.
I don't know.
Does anybody out there in the chat happen to know if Sonic and Knuckles works with Sonic 1? Let's see. Let's get some calls down here. Anybody got it? I'm looking down here in the chat.
Hi, chat. Hi, chat.
Has anybody ever tried playing Sonic 1 on the Sonic and Knuckles cartridge? Peripheral game cartridge thing?
I wonder how many other games you could have glitched into doing that.
None. None, because you can't even use it on Sonic 1. Yeah. So what it does is it goes to the game called Blue Sphere, which is the bonus game in Sonic and Knuckles 3.
Okay.
The great thing about it, and this was learned after the fact, is the serial number, which is still on the boards in the games, because how the boards in the game in the consoles would change the game itself, the Blue Sphere game itself. So every single one out there was uniquely different.
Oh.
That's when you got the big no.
Yeah.
If you jammed A, B, and C all at once, it would take you the Blue Sphere.
That's crazy.
Yep. So that's kind of fun. That's like even Monster Rancher stuff before Monster Rancher was a thing. Because if you think about it, Monster Rancher worked that CDs, the different CDs would get you different things. Yeah. Same idea.
That's a good idea.
Speaking of disc-based games, this is after Sonic and Knuckles. We jump ship and we go to the adventure continues with Sonic Adventure. Now, Sonic Adventure first debuted on the Dreamcast, eventually was ported over to Nintendo 64, and also I don't know if it went to PlayStation just yet because Sega was still running the Dreamcast. I don't think it was ported over there.
Yeah.
So this is the first time that we ever got Sonic in a 3D platforming style. It is famous. I mean, there are
huge.
It still is. People still speed run it today. Video game orchestras still play the songs. I mean, it's had a long-lasting effect.
Yeah, and we'll talk about it more when we get to toys because this is when this game came out is when action figures really took off for Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah.
Now, what was fun about this is that a lot of people still played Sonic Adventure because not only was it a platformer, not only was it a Sonic game, but the whole expansive universe that you could have in it. You could have the I don't know if you call it Chow or Chaos Farms or whatever you feel like it.
Yeah.
There was a lot of other little things you could add on, little extra items to help with your progress. Yeah, I'm not a big Sonic Adventure person. That's because I didn't have a Dreamcast. But I may have played a little bit of Sonic Adventure 2
yes,
when
sir.
they debuted Shadow.
Yeah.
I only played it very little because I didn't have a lot of access to it. Now, how about you? Did you play the heck out of this?
This is one I played, uh, like, so I didn't know play a lot of Sonic. I kinda retroactively played a lot of these games, and this is one that, my little brother would loved a lot of Sonic, so I got to see it through his eyes mostly. This is the one where he
Oh,
was like, "You have to play this one." I was like, "Alright," so we did, and I was like, "Dude, this is awesome." It kinda kicked off a new love for Sonic for me, this game here.
hmm. Now, concurrently, there was also started some Sonic cartoons
Yes.
and stuff on TV. We had the Saturday morning cartoon, the more, and my personal favorite, had the best theme song ever by on ABC. That was in the late '90s. We also had the UPN one that was the Daily Syndicated Show. Both shows voiced by Stephen Urkel, Jaleel White.
Mhm.
And then by this point in the early 2000s, that's where we got Sonic and Sonic X.
Oh, yeah.
But jumping from Sonic Adventure, then Shadow being so popular. Also, just to note the way that the release of these games are going to go back here. So Dreamcast Sonic came out in '98 because I cheated and put the little thing down in the bottom corner so I remember myself. And then Sonic 2 came out in 2001. Sonic Adventure 2 came out in 2001. And then we had to wait 4 whole years for them to develop the Shadow the Hedgehog game. This was very, very, very divisive in the community, considering the fact that, oh my God, a hedgehog's got a gun. Okay.
I remember everyone talking about that.
I'm like, dude, you literally made the ultimate life form from mystical, magical goop from space. Okay. He's going to be pissed. He's going to need a gun. And considering the bad guy's name is Gun,
Yeah, yeah. It
come on.
fits. It checks
Now,
out.
I played this out of this game. I remember getting this for my PlayStation 2 and I went to town on it. I got all 10 possible endings.
Oh, wow.
I went through the whole pyramid up and down and the good ending and the bad ending, the good in every single one of them, thinking that, oh, math wise, there's going to be how many more endings? There weren't. There were only 10. But I did the whole game. I hundoed this back before, trophies and whatnot were a thing back on PlayStations.
No Xbox achievements on that one.
No, 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 no. I wonder
Yeah.
if they do if you can now. I don't know. I
I
did
don't know.
download the new Shadow and Sonic Generations,
Yeah.
so it is kind of fun getting a little prep work back in my head.
Yeah.
One thing I gotta give Sonic credit with now, as much as we have the whole generations of old Sonic versus new Sonic, Shadow story stayed pretty much the exact same consistent story.
Mhm.
Shadow is actually over 50 years old. He's the ultimate life form made by Robotnik's grandfather. And then there's this whole thing with Maria, the girl who taught him to be good. So I got to give them credit here. Sega has always tried to keep their storyline straight. And I think it was a great idea that when they split the classic Sonic from the modern Sonic, it was really smart. Now, this was in 2005. There was a particular game that came out the next year that we're not going to talk about because we always try to forget that one because you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Was that what system was that on? Was that
That was the
on
one with the princess.
Oh, yeah,
You know what I'm
okay.
talking
Yeah, okay. I will, yeah.
about? And then while I was finishing up doing my math and doing my homework, there have been at least 140 games that Sonic has appeared in.
Dude.
So we just scratched the surface.
Yeah.
Um, Personally, like here, this is the one I'm talking about, right? So if you go down to the bottom row all the way to the right, go one, two,
Uh-huh.
three in from the left, go one up. The one before Sonic Unleashed is the one we don't talk about.
Okay. Okay.
And one of my favorite games that came out around the same time was Sonic Heroes.
Yep.
Sonic has been ported over to a lot of different systems, platforms, and you can definitely tell the technical issues and great things that come out of it. Like I had Sonic 3D Blast, played a
Mhm.
heck of a lot better on my PC than it did on the console.
Mhm.
Just fun stuff like that. So there's a lot of Sonic. There's a Sonic game out there for everybody.
There
Um,
really is. Yeah.
but not
It's like
only
they've
is there
dropped
enough
one every year since
Oh
the
yeah.
90s.
Not only is there enough Sonic games for everyone, right? Oh, that's for later. Left that at the end. Oops. Not only is there enough Sonic games on the screen for everyone, but more importantly, there are enough Sonic toys for everyone. Because this dude not only is the Blue Streak himself, he is Sega's cash cow.
Yeah, he's the Batman of Sega.
Seriously. Well, unlike Batman, he doesn't come in different colors and flavors, nor have I ever seen an Arctic Freeze Sonic.
No, I don't think we have.
As much
We
as
have
he
seen a
makes it,
werewolf Sonic though.
I liked that game. I
I
did.
do
I
too.
played, dude,
It
on the
was
Wii.
it was
Yeah,
hard though. Playing it on the Wii. So I had a lot of problems with the Wii because of the motion controls. That was my only gripe about it. I was like, man, I wish we didn't have to play with these stupid nunchucks. This game would be great. So
you could plug in the
I
Pro
yeah, I know you
Controller
could,
for
yeah, we
it.
did,
That's
but
all I did.
I was like, I didn't like that at all. But yeah, so toys and collectibles over the years, and there's been a lot. Like we said, I mean, they're pumping Sonic out. You saw how many games there were. I mean, once we got to a certain point, they're doing the same thing with toys,
Now,
right?
I gotta ask: was this your collection that you took a picture of, or did you happen to find this on the internet? Because I
I
wouldn't be
found this.
surprised if this was yours.
I found this on the internet. Like
Okay.
I wish I had some of these old Toy Island and Jazzwares figures, but I'll have to find them retroactively, I guess. So yeah. Um, so from I think it was 1991 to 99,
I
it
had that
was it was really all just merchandising, right? Like
merchandising,
yeah, you had the Tiger Electronics, you
dude. I
had all
had
these
that.
the Tiger Electronics handheld.
Yeah, I even
Yeah, yeah,
remember
yeah.
where the hell I
I
got
did too.
where my parents bought it.
I did too. But yes, other than plushies, there wasn't any figures, action figures or anything like that. It was all games, uh, novelty stuff like that bubble blower, and there were like shoe things you could put on like your shoelaces and stuff like that. I actually had the water game, and there's another one I didn't put up here that's like shaped like Green Hill Zone with the loop and everything, where you're trying to move the water to get the loops into the
Oh,
basket.
cool. Yeah, the
So
old rings are. Yeah, I gotcha.
I for some reason as a kid, I love those things, and I actually had that red one. I wanted the other one. It was a much bigger one, blue one, but it's whatever. I really enjoyed that little red one. I could do those things all day long. But so 1999, something big happened, and that was Sonic Adventure, right? We talked about it already. That spawned them to start making action figures. So Resource Toys, they were only active for a few years, but they were the first ones with this license. And they just made what we see here. And this is two lines. There was one line with Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and then the next line with Big the Cat, a Sonic with like I think he's on a snowboard or something, Amy, and then
Skis, yeah.
Omega.
And is it me? Do they have pins? They have like full articulation
Yeah,
too.
they're fully articulate.
Wow.
They're a lot like they're a lot like the Jack Specific you can buy now in terms of articulation. I don't think the legs, other than the hips, moved. Like I don't think they had knee articulation or foot articulation, but
Yeah, I don't
the
see that.
elbows, the hands, the head, all
Yeah.
that stuff moved. And they actually came out with this 10-inch Sonic, which we'll see more of that through other uh companies did that too. Those are some ones I'd really like to go back and get because they look awesome. They really went hard with like the Sonic Adventure like cartoony look. It's like they sent them the concept art, and that's
Yeah.
what they made the toys from, as opposed to straight from the video game.
I think for me, I'd much rather go for the smalls. That's just me. I like having
Yeah,
smaller figures available so I can play with. I mean, this isn't Sonic, but you get the idea. Um, because that's way it's just easier to store on shelves. But that's me also thinking as a collector now. A big ass 10-inch Sonic would definitely take up a lot of shelf space. I trust me, baby. I can barely fit my Megazord in here.
yeah, right, exactly. Um, I actually think I got these backwards because no, is this resource? I had to double check. Let me look at that real quick. These
I
might
don't
be
know,
toy.
but I still see the original tag on there.
So these are actually Toy Island. So we'll do this retroactively. Toy Island came out with the next licensing in 2000 to 2006, and we got more like accessories with the toys, and
Mm-hmm.
this Robotnik with I can't remember the name, the monkey beatnik, but that was really cool that you got like 2 figures in 1 pack. I thought that was pretty awesome.
It's a good way to sell the bad guy, and also to. I like when companies are smart and put in that extra figure that you weren't sure wasn't going to sell. So hey, let's tie it in with somebody else. I've said it time and time before when it came to the Power Rangers Lightning Collection, the now defunct Lightning Collection, that
Yeah,
that's how they should have done a lot of the female figures. Nothing against the girls, but I
yeah,
think that's how we would have sold more.
probably. Yeah, I think so. Um, but as time went on, they actually came out with more toys like these, like the bendable, you can get them now. You can buy the bendable toys that
Oh yeah,
move
good old Gumby style.
all around. They had like some electronic talking statues. I think those were a little bigger, like
They come with
6.
Chaos Emeralds.
Yeah, that was really cool. And then they got into school supplies. And so I have gel pens here, but you could get anything. They had pencils, they had scissors, they had erasers, they had all kinds of stuff that was Sonic related through Toy Island, which I think was a great idea because if you can get it in the schools, you get other kids seeing it. They're like, "What is that?"
Mhm.
It if they don't already know what the video game is, which would make no sense at all. But something really cool happened around this time, and that is Sonic X dropped.
There's my girl, Rouge the Bat.
And this is where Toy Island was able to take off, right? Because now you have a much bigger universe outside of just what we people know in the video game. So
Hmm.
from 2000 to 2006, they were making everything, and you got Rouge, and these were like the first versions of Rouge, Shadow, Cream and Cheese, and Chris. Like they had never been actually, obviously Chris, but
Just so everybody knows, Cream is the name of the rabbit.
yeah,
Cheese is the name of the baby little baby cow.
yeah,
Cow.
and if you can find these, you got some moolah on your hands. If you have some at the house, you probably already know they're worth quite a bit of money for that cream and cheese from Toy Island.
Hmm. And
Uh,
look down there, they both say the 4Kids and Viz Media, all the
yeah,
particular licensing.
yep, yep. But they were able to take off with all kinds of like offshoots and new characters that they didn't have before. Um, yeah, again, there's cream and cheese, Tails, Sonic. So what they did is they almost their first wave was actually just reproductions of Resource. And then they came back around and redid them again, like, with new molds. So,
Okay.
I mean, I guess that's a normal thing for toy companies, maybe when they pick up a new licensing, I don't know. But that's where they went with the whole thing. After that, we started taking off with, like, different you've got Space Sonic, you've got Metal Sonic, you've got all these other
Oh,
things.
we already have a Metal Sonic. We have
Well, yeah,
Metal
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Force Sonic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're in armor, so we're taking it all, they're trying to make money, they're trying to sell toys. How do
Merchandising.
how do we make them look different? How do we make them more exciting? What do we do that's, different? But we got our first version of superposers, which would become a very popular thing going forward, no matter who had the license, and they were making superposers because that's the ones a lot of people wanted. Um, Also, while they have this license and the 15th anniversary rolls around, and this statue, which was only available, there's a little phone number on that ad. You had to call in and order it. Not in stores. The internet really wasn't a viable thing, like we can do now, where you can go to Big Bad Toy Store or wherever and just order these things. You had to call this number. So actually, there's not a lot of these around. These are actually also very rare. They came with a certificate of certificate of authentication. There we go. uh,
I wonder, can anybody actually see that phone number on there? Is the phone number on there still?
it's on there. You might have to zoom in though.
All right. Anybody in the chat, find out. Give that number a call. See who you get nowadays.
This number has been disconnected.
Boo-doo-doo. Sorry, thanks for calling Frank Chili Dog.
uh, but this was kind of the last thing that Toy Island did before their agreement ran out, and then Jazzwares picked up Sonic the Hedgehog, and this is the company that most people feel like was the best when it came to Sonic toys. Like things were rolling. You had Sonic X. The games at this point they were probably where were we at in 2008? We're way past Shadow and all that stuff. But
Yeah, we're definitely looking more towards at that point Sonic '06, Sonic and the
yeah,
Golden
yeah,
Ring, Sonic in the Night, Sonic.
right.
So we're around that point, and then next would have been Sonic Unleashed
Hmm.
and Sonic Colors in the mainline games. We're not
Right,
talking
right,
about any of like Mean Bean Machine or whatnot. We're just talking Sonic.
right. Um, but also right now, like Toys R Us is probably at its height, like at its peak as well. And like
Hmm.
they had whole aisles just dedicated to Sonic the Hedgehog in a lot of
Now,
places.
you were just mentioning that it is usually the first wave that is the safe bet. If you take a look at these figures right here, these are exactly the
Ah,
same ones that we
good
just saw.
eye.
That's why I do this.
Good eye. Yes, they reproduced this first wave from Resource again that Toy Island did, and then I guess they're just trying to get into the groove to see what people want, right? So you just got
Hmm.
some different packaging basically. But as you were saying, the new games came out and we were getting figures of those, like the
That's
Werehog,
the exact
the
right look.
button.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mickey and I usually do this separately, and we barely look at each
Yeah.
other's notes. Like it's seriously that group project at school, and we're good. We don't cheat off each other.
Yeah.
So this is just kismet.
But yeah, we're getting all these new figures, these new versions of Sonic and from these new games and new characters and R Jazzwares is just doing a really good job of keeping up with it. They're pumping out some really cool stuff and really cool packaging too. Like, when you look back at these, I think they're awesome.
Yeah, I
They're
like that kind of teardrop shape.
yeah,
I think it's smart. Not only is it economical, I can only imagine you're probably losing money having to press and print them out, but
yeah,
what you could be saving on flipping them around, flipping the cardstock around, and getting multiple prints off of it, rather than one big square. I think that was a smart idea that they did.
yeah. Um, so those all those figures we just saw were, I think, the 4 or they 5 or 6 inch. They were larger, right? They were taller.
Okay.
What made, Resource and Toy Island pretty popular were their smaller 3 to 4 inch, and so Jazzware, excuse me, went into that too. As you can see that Knuckles, Shadow, and Sonic in the middle, those were the 3 to 4 inch ones, and they were hugely popular, and they took off big time. You'll also see that Metal Sonic in the top left, that's another 10 inch, one of the bigger figures. That's a
Now
very
that
popular
I
one.
wouldn't mind having as a 10-inch simply because it's freaking Metal Sonic. Now Metal Sonic
Yeah,
came out in Sonic 2
yeah,
originally. He's even had his own games and levels and whatnot since then. But
yeah.
I'm loving this super pack down here.
Are we talking about the Super Sonic, Super Shadow, and Super Silver?
Yep.
Yeah, this is a very pop they had a lot of these boxes with, like, 2 to 3 characters that kinda fit together. These were
Hmm.
very popular and hugely sought after, and they still are also worth a lot of money, especially this one, the Super Pack. But they also had a really cool one. I should have put the picture up here of Robotnik and Metal Sonic kinda in, like, his formation tube, and it was in this box set. They're really good for display and in box if that's what you're
Hmm.
into. Um, you also, Sonic uh, racing was coming in around that. We're making stuff on that. That's kinda on the tail end of what Jazzwares is doing.
Yeah,
Jazzwares. I
looks
keep saying
looks
Wars.
like looks like it could be a transformer.
Yeah. Hey, he could he could be. But we also got these Juvies in the top right, which is this the precursor for Funko Pop? What
I I don't know.
Uh,
I mean, the chibi design it always sells. Let's be honest.
yeah,
So yeah.
yeah. I think they made, like, Sonic, Tails, and either Knuckles or Shadow, I can't remember. There was only 3 characters. That was kinda again, we're getting to the end of their line. But during their time, you had 25th anniversary roll around, and
Yes.
this, according to a lot of collectors that I have seen online, like, this is one of their favorite Sonic lines of all time, just almost based solely on the packaging because it was very, I guess, nostalgic.
But okay, so here's the deal. You can go back and look at the other pictures, all right, and then come back here and talk with us. That is probably the best tails I've seen yet out of all the figures.
Yes, yes, thank
I
you.
think it is less derpy looking and looks more video game accurate. I know Sonic having the interesting proportions, it's very hard to get that just right in toy form, whether you're getting a real, whether his nose itself is going to swing up a lot,
Mhm.
how much of it you paint in. Because if you take a look at that 1991 Sonic versus 2011 Sonic, I would like a nice in between right there. Like give me chubby Sonic, but give me sleek and sexy Sonic at the same time. Like find a middle ground. I think
Yeah.
proportionally, when you went to sleek Sonic in 2006, um, well, no, because Sonic Adventure is really when it's. But when you
Yeah,
went
yeah,
to
yeah.
that sleeker Sonic in Sonic Adventure, that's where you got the taller version. And I personally don't think that the toys have been able really in for quite a while been able to get that proportionately. That's just me.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. We're going to the next slide. So yeah, they're kind of the last of what Jazzwares does. You have Sonic
Hmm.
Free Riders. You have these two little, again, almost like Funko style Sonic toys coming out. One
Yep.
thing I forgot to mention earlier, but we do have these Sonic 2 packs with a comic book, which you see here with Shadow and Silver. And those had became pretty popular due to Jazzwares. I
Yep.
mean, you're getting two figures and a comic book, and a lot of times you were getting characters in those packs that you couldn't get single, right? Like Espio or Vector, or they also had like special like blue translucent Sonic figures and stuff like that in those packs that were pretty rare and still are.
Now, for the longest time, Sonic has been just a tangent off that. If you take a look at that Sonic universe, you'll see that big A up there in the top. That is from Archie Comics. Sonic had the rights with Sonic was licensed to Archie Comics for the longest time, and now our friends over at Boom Studios are the ones picking up right there. I know they just had a real big 75 issue that
Hmm.
apparently turned everything on its head. I
Is
don't
that
know.
is that Boom or IDW?
Yes.
I feel like
I
it's
read a lot of
IDW.
comics, so if I got that screwed up, I apologize.
Uh, oh man, I should have grabbed. I buy every time a trade comes out. Every time a trade comes out, I buy it for my son because he keeps up with them, and I think we're up 17's coming out next year, so I gotta go
Yeah,
look at them. I can't
it's
remember
it's
which it is.
IDW, not Boom. Who
Okay,
the heck?
yeah.
What video game did Boom have that I did?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Uh,
Oh no, I was thinking actually of the book Sonic Boom. That's why, not
there you
Boom
go.
Studios. Yeah, we don't talk about that. That was a terrible show. It was so bad.
Don't worry, we'll talk about it. It's
Okay.
coming. It's coming. So
Okay.
yeah, 2013, Jazzwares
I
comes
want
licensing
that.
comes to an end, and Tomy
I
takes
want
over in
that.
2014, 2019. That's right. And what Tomy did really well in this time was plushies.
Proportionally make a plushie.
Yeah. So when they came out, that's pretty much what they came out with first, plushies, right? And people were very they had plushies have been made since the beginning when it
Oh
comes to
yeah.
Sonic. But a lot of people feel like Jazzwares did pretty good. Tomy took it to another level with the plushies. No, they're pretty popular.
I mean, look at just look at the eyebrow itself has its own independent stitch on
Yeah.
there. The detail, the proportions.
But something important happened when Tomy got the licensing that you mentioned not long ago.
Uh,
That is the release of the animated show Sonic Boom.
Boom. I have a figure floating around here somewhere. It was a promo that a buddy of mine from GameStop got, and I still have it in package. It's probably worth nothing, but yeah. Hey, hey, like I'm sorry. I look at Sonic Boom and I just think of like '90s extreme, like Knuckles. We're gonna wrap up your arms and make it extreme and make you big barrel chested. And then Sonic, we're gonna make you hipster groovy and like where's Black Mirror comedy when you need him for hipster Sonic?
You got steampunk tails over there.
Yeah. Amy Rose though looking fine as heck,
Yeah, yeah,
man.
yeah. Good for her. Good for her. But yeah, so that's kind of like their first big line is Sonic Boom toys that
Yep.
come out and get released. And they released, as we said before, Sonic is their cash cow. Tomy was dialing in on that, and they were
Oh, yeah,
releasing
for sure.
a Sonic with goggles, a Sonic with scarf, a Sonic with like it was like you're getting every kind of Sonic. Sonic with like mud on him, like in that 2-pack with Tails, he's just dirty. There's one with like Knuckles where he's got wrapping all over his body, and there's even some blood I think on one of them, which is kind of interesting for toys, but I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, so Sonic Boom is kind of like their cash cow in the moment
Yep.
because that's what's hot.
And Cartoon Network was pushing it like nobody's business, and it
Yeah.
wasn't that good of a show. It really wasn't.
I saw a few episodes. I remember my kids watching it, and even my kids are big Sonic fans, especially my oldest son. He's huge into it. So even he was like, "Not good," and I trust him. I was like, "Hey, I know you know what you're talking about." uh, but around this time, we have another anniversary roll around, 25th
Yay!
coming in hot,
All
and
right, hold on. Oh, I'm feeling old now. Oh.
that's right, we're getting up there. We're almost at 30. But they release a few special things, not a lot. They have a few 3-packs like this. This one with the coins I thought was pretty cool. They have like a metallic paint job on them. That's probably
Yeah.
like one of the cooler
I
sets
don't
they
know
had.
how to feel about that Knuckles, but I think if going for the older
I like Chubby
style,
Knuckles. I like Chubby
yeah,
Knuckles. But again, they make some more stuff after this. It doesn't get too crazy. That
I remember seeing new
1991
ones in store. Yeah,
that 1991 Sonic from Tomy, that's regarded as a really good figure amongst collectors. He had like
comes with
interchangeable
a toy
parts.
dog.
Yeah, he had a lot of accessories, interchangeable parts. He looked great. A lot of people loved that one. And of course, you had the 3-pack with the chows. That was something big they pushed too. But we have another game going through the roof, Sonic Forces. So we got to
Through the
have more
roof.
toys. I'm trying to hype it up here. Let's go. I actually like Sonic Forces. I didn't hate it.
The only good thing about Sonic Forces was the fact you could make your little guys, and that was about it.
I didn't even care about that. I liked Infinite. I don't know why. I guess he was just a cool edge
Handling
lord.
was garbage,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
No, I tried playing this. Like, I remember gameflying this, and like, thank God I had gamefly and didn't have to pay money for this. But I, just playing like the first few levels and how loose and janky and unresponsive the controls were, I don't know if it was my system or if it was the game. So I'm gonna blame the game.
That's fair. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah. But yeah, so that's kind of comes to the end of.
No,
Oh man, my bad. Jeez, God. Ugh, I can't even look at it.
change it.
I, I
Burn it.
got it. I
Burn it
got
with fire.
it.
Am I good?
So Jack Pacific
The current
comes along,
licensing.
and they have the current licensing, and they've been doing really well with it because I think they only had like a 2-year deal, and they got renewed, which happens very rarely in these toy deals.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, Jack Pacific comes along. They start their own 4-inch line, and they have like a 2-inch line too. This is where I started collecting Sonic stuff mostly.
Right.
Um, I have a ton of these on. Actually, I put them in my son's room because this is kind of like a father-son bonding thing where we collect these. We find stuff in stores. So this is these go about 3 deep, by the way. There's a lot of
This
figures
is
here, even
this is your collection,
mine and my son. Like we kind of together kind of search these things out.
dude. You
So
got Eppley's
yeah.
and wow.
But like again, these rows are 3 deep, so there's like every character's there because we've been pretty diligent in looking for these. I don't collect a lot of the classic versions of them.
Don't
Just,
blame me.
I mean, not because I hate them or anything. I actually collect the classic 2-inch, not the 4-inch. I stick with the modern stuff in the 4-inch. But
Mm-hmm.
I really like these figures. They look really cool. I mean, I I guess the packaging could be a little bit better because it's kind of just like clean cut corporate, but
But
I don't
they're
mind it.
still good to display, as
Yeah,
long
yeah,
as
yeah, yeah.
you got the shelves to make them 3 deep.
Yeah, yeah. They're beautiful. And I think actually there's some more not there because he's got some on his bookshelf outside too. I didn't get a picture of that, but yeah. Um Jack Specific putting out like, there's, like, 4 figures per wave, and I think they're almost on wave 20.
I wish I could zoom in on that Sonic right there in the middle, dead center in the top.
Yeah.
That is the right proportion.
Yeah, the little one with the chili dog?
No, the
Oh, I got
Speedy
you.
Sonic,
The 4
dead
inch.
center,
Yeah, yeah,
number
yeah.
3 right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
That is the right proportion that I
Right.
would want.
Right.
Because the hair or his quills are down far enough this way. His eyes are up enough. They're not. His eyes also aren't derpy, like
Yeah.
big pie eye looking.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Sonic. Do you have chili dogs? Great, awesome. No,
Uh,
it's all good in good proportion. So I think Jax finally got the design just right.
yeah.
And Jackson also is famous. They've done so many other lines. They've had Dragon Ball. They've done Pac-Man. They've
Mhm.
had a license with Disney since as longer than I can remember.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tsum Tsums were them.
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
They've done a lot, and like I
look
said,
at that big the cat. I want that big the cat.
I love him. Him and Vector are, like, my favorite 2 to find. I was like, "Yes, I got him." There like I
Yeah,
said,
I got him
there's
now.
there's about 4 figures per wave, and usually one of them is hard to find. Like, that Mephiles took me a year.
Oh, I
Like,
bet.
when they dropped it, I couldn't find it anywhere, and then I just one you know what? I wasn't even gonna go down the toy aisle. We were in there in Walmart to get something else, and I was like, "You know what? I'm just gonna walk over there." And I always look at the Sonic figures just out of habit, right?
Yep.
Move a couple of them, be like, "No way.
Yep.
Got him."
That's how it happens.
So, yeah.
And now that we work together, I will definitely keep an eye out for these. And don't worry, I've got a whole crew across the country that can keep an eye out. But make sure that in the meantime, if you do have an opportunity to go to bigbadtoystore.com.
Yeah. And they also make 4-inch figures for the movies that they've come, Sonic, Sonic 2, and Sonic 3. They've got figures out right now.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and the show Sonic Prime. I included them. Let me go back one
Yep, saw the
slide
Prime
here.
ones. Now, I will say I have watched Prime a little bit.
Yeah.
I like the idea, and I think that the fact that nowadays we're so used to having a multiverse out there, the
Mhm.
idea of Sonic Prime is nice, and it also gives the designers and writers a chance to come up with new ideas of Sonic.
Yes.
And then when we get Metal Force Sonic figures, it makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. When that show came out, I was hyped because my kids were excited. I was excited for them. But
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I don't know, man. Just watch." I was like, "Yeah, we'll see." I watched the first episode. I was kinda like, "Eh," right? But I stuck in there, and it actually is really good. It is a really good show overall. I enjoyed it very much. I
Yeah,
like the
see, now
whole.
hold on. Go back again. Go
Oh,
back.
okay.
Go back to that one. See, I
Alright.
got to do it. Now now look. Okay, perfect example. Let's look at these, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so we're gonna start down here with Classic Sonic. Classic Sonic is chubby and derpy and wonderful and awesome. Okay, now
Yeah,
we're gonna go to Sexy Sleek Sonic because
yeah,
that's how I'm gonna refer to him. He looks great. I've said Jack's like I just said, Jack Pacific has the right proportions. Okay, then we're gonna look at Sonic Prime again because of the design in the Netflix show. This works.
yeah.
Okay, the Sonic the 3 toy, no,
I
no,
will say those movie toys haven't been excellent. They've been
no.
okay at best. They kinda
But
did the same thing
yeah,
that they did with the Mario Brothers toys with the eyes, which is really throws me off. That, like,
yes,
weird, like they've got, like, a clear, uh
glaze on them or
yeah,
whatnot.
yeah, yeah, to make it give it depth or something, and I'm like, I don't know."
No, I would much rather have a flat panel. Just yeah.
Yeah, but,
Sorry, sorry for distracting.
oh, you're fine, you're fine. I showed you last week, I got that Shadow on the bike. Now he looks great. Out of all of those Sonic 3 toys, I love that one the most. Um, so yeah, what I really like about Jack Pacific is they released a lot of these play sets and dioramas, and there's way more than what I have right here. There was just too many to put in this
Green
slide.
Hill Zone, Chemical Plant Zone,
Mhm.
um, No Casino Nights, the best one out there.
Yeah. Uh, we actually have, I don't think we don't have that Death Egg. We have the big Robotnik robot, the Green Hill. I didn't get the Tornado. I wish I did, But I've got a few of these at the house. Kids play with. There's parts everywhere. I was like, I'm not even going to try to get all this stuff together because they play with them, which is cool. I like that,
Yeah,
and I'll keep it
these
when
are
they're
like,
done. When they're done, I'll keep them for them, and one day, hopefully, they'll display their stuff like me.
there you go.
Uh, but yeah, I really like what they did with play sets and dioramas because this is, as a kid, this is stuff I'd die for. Like, give me the whole scene. I mean,
Yeah,
I'd play with toys and in my head, make all this stuff up, but this would have been excellent.
but one thing you got to look at that. I mean, let's give credit where credit's due. Not only just the figures themselves and the size of them, but the printing and the screen, or technically the screen printing on the stickers or whatever the heck they are on
Yeah,
the panels.
yeah,
I mean, the chemical plant zone one, like you see the fire trap, but underneath that platform, it is printed to have that amount of depth. They didn't,
yeah.
tool that. They somebody figured out how to draw that, figured out how to make it cost effective to make a whole play set to give you that depth of feeling there. And then on top of it, down here, in the foreground, that semi curve right there before the continue point. Same deal. Those boxes are printed to have that depth. And not only that, they're printed in the fact that it looks just like it's right out of the video game.
Mhm.
Like, kudos to them on this.
Yeah, and a lot of this stuff has, like, moving parts too. You can put Sonic in that loop of Green Hill and just spin him around and around, which is pretty cool. So, yeah, again, like I said, we've got another anniversary coming up. The 30th anniversary, I think, was 2022, I believe.
Okay.
So they released some really cool stuff, and I threw that Funko. I just threw a few different things. Two of the things up here would be the Mighty and that 3-pack that were from Jack Specific, and then that statue. I can't remember who created that and that Funko Pop.
That's gorgeous. I wouldn't be surprised. You know who I would really like to see a figure or whatnot, a model come out from? I'm going to see if they have it. Actually, you keep talking. I'm going to see if this company has one.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, so they actually, again, more things than I could put on this page. They really celebrated the 30th anniversary, and what I don't know if I like
So
it or not. Oh, go
that
ahead.
particular Sonic One statue
Yeah.
is by a company called Numbskull, and it is on sale right now on Big Bad Toy Store for $51.99.
That ain't bad. I think what was originally like 75 to 100, something like that.
$80.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
I
it's
remember I remember
that
seeing
was
it and I
just
was just
yeah.
yeah,
I honestly thought it was a Diamond Select,
yeah,
so that's why I wanted to
yeah,
see, and that's what came up. Um, yeah, there's some wow.
yeah.
I think I look. I know they're sponsoring us, but the first three things that came up when I said Diamond Select Sonic, and of course nothing came up from Diamond Select. I know that they've done Diamond Select,
Yeah, they have.
but yeah, there's like three gorgeous things right on Big Bad Toy Store. All hail our corporate overlords. But yeah, can you fill everybody in on Mighty since you are the Sonic aficionado? Because
So
you rarely see him, so
right.
that's why.
The only thing I know about Mighty is us playing Sonic Mania.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know if he's from a game before that or if this is like the OG kind of what Sonic was supposed to be or what, but he's the only time I ever saw him is when we played Sonic Mania. I didn't know much about him outside of that.
So, do you know what type of creature he is?
He's an armadillo? Yeah, I think so, yeah.
You got it. Yep, actually, looks like the Sega Sonic the Hedgehog,
Mhm.
which was a Japanese exclusive game, I believe, was the first time we saw Mighty. The big one was Knuckles Chaotix on the 32X,
Okay.
because
Yeah.
that's where you saw the rest of Team Chaotix. So it would be
Yeah, yeah,
Mighty,
yeah,
and
yeah.
an alligator, and the bee, and all them.
But, yeah.
There's so many names. Give me a break.
Yeah, oh, yeah. I know, I know. Anyway, we did all this just because Sonic 3 is coming out. Just thought I'd throw that out there. There's way more stuff than what I brought to the
Wait,
table. I just tried to stay on the main line toy continuity, but they have Legos. They have so many toy companies that does like little one-offs of things.
I have Sonic Lego now that I think about it.
I
I've
have
got Lego.
I
I
have
got
the
Lego
30th.
Dimensions.
Yeah, I have the 30th anniversary one they did, like the real nice one. What is the real nice line they do? like it's in like the black box. It's really pretty. Anyway, yeah, we have
Yeah,
that one. Yeah.
that's a
Uh,
really nice. It's really pretty too.
yeah. I haven't. No, after that they came out with a lot more sets, which were really cool, but really
Yep, but they're
expensive.
just mainline Legos. They're
Yeah, yeah.
standard basic Legos, but there is that extra collector style line.
Yeah.
We have the Super Mario Brothers Lego out there, but that Bowser is
Yes.
definitely that step up
Yes. Exactly.
figure.
I gave up on Legos a while back. They're just too expensive for me.
I,
But I know
I
that they
have
hold their worth, though. They hold their worth. I'll give them
they
that.
do they're worth more than gold.
Yeah. It's kind of
No,
amazing.
they technically are.
Yeah.
But we hope you both enjoyed. Hope you enjoyed us going on and on talking about our history with Sonic the Hedgehog and the toys and our own
Sorry.
personal stories. Um, if you do enjoy it, that's the big thing we want to make sure. Make sure that you first hit that subscribe button, all right, and then tap that bell. Hit it, slam it, ding the thing, let it ring. So every time that we go live, you know that we're doing our thing. And of course, the big thing, tap that thumbs up so you all let the GFO Mike know that we're doing our job and we're doing it well.
Mm-hmm.
So, Mickey, what do we have coming up next week?
Next week will be our bullpen special, right?
Yes, our
Holiday bullpen
bullpen
special.
holiday special.
Yep.
So,
We'll find out what everybody wants for Christmas.
mhm.
Uh,
So we really hope that you guys all come out and join us, so you can see exactly everything that our team here at Nerd Initiative wants. Again, because of that, we're just going to remind our buddy Matt. Hi, Matt, because you need to be reminded. Okay, you still have to submit your video. Okay, look at me. Look at me. I'm the Sonic now.
uh,
So make sure to tune in next week with us. Make sure to stay tuned here to Nerd Initiative for all your fantastic toy news. Not only that, we've got Turn a Page tomorrow night. We're going to have an awesome armored interview going on. On
yeah.
Wednesday, we've got our 30 plus comic book reviews dropping. On Thursday, dropping in again from the top rope is Ken and Rich and new guy, well, not so new guy Nick,
Not so new.
talking about everything in the world of wrestling. I've got some new toy reviews coming up. Mickey's got some new toy reviews coming up. Come on back next week. Make sure that you're subscribed. But also, because it is the holiday season, since we are having our holiday special next week, we want to make sure that you are wearing your nerd on your sleeve. Go on to our Nerd Initiative merchandise store. Pick something up for that special nerd in your life or your special host in your life. This guy or that guy. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm a size XL just in case. I'll make a PO box, if I have to. Make sure you go on, get a coffee mug, get a hat, get whatever you want. Just get something and share the joy of being a nerd with all your friends and family.
Absolutely.
In the meantime, my name's Off the Cuff Tom. Be excellent to each other. And Mickey, take it home.
Be kind to yourself. Don't just play for fun. Play for
Play for
keeps.
keeps.
Have a